Hi, so today I'm going to show you how to draw in Word. Now, when I talk about drawing in Word, there are a number of different options that can be used to actually create an illustration, a cartoon, a diagram, a map, etc, etc. Now, what I can't do today is teach you how to draw something specific. I can give you the tools that will enable you to hopefully be able to draw the image that you need to draw. And some of them have their limitations and others are quite specific. It's not a Photoshop program, so it really does have its limitations. However, having said that, there really are a great deal of things that you can actually do. If I go up to the Draw tab and simply click on a pen, this method of drawing is just as if you had got a pen and you decided to draw on a piece of paper. Now, I'm currently using a Wacom tablet and pen. I'm not using a mouse, so I do have a little bit more control. But even if I say wanted to draw a face, I'm not an artist, by the way, you can see the sorts of results that I get. It's just like drawing with a pen. And if that's what you want and you just want to sketch away, then this is the tool for you. But if I want to be a little bit more accurate in drawing circles and squares and triangles, then this is not the right tool for me. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to get rid of these by using the eraser tool, and then I'm just going to go up and I'm going to click on the Insert tab, and then I'm going to click on up to the Insert tab and I'm going to click on Shapes. Now, there are numerous different shapes that you're given in the drop-down menu, and this is just a starting point because all of these shapes can be manipulated and customised into a form that you want for your particular image, diagram or picture. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to construct a very simple picture using the shapes, but showing you how you can change these shapes and use the fills and the borders to create an image. So the first thing I'm going to do is to click on the oval, and I'm going to create two circles. So I'm going to click and drag. Now, because I want it to be a perfect circle, I'm going to hit the Shift key and it will turn into a perfect circle for me. Okay, now currently I'm on a blue outline and a blue fill colour as my default. But I'm just going to change that up here. I'm going to make sure I'm on shape format. If shape format doesn't appear, then simply select your shape, go to shape fill, and I'm going to click this browny colour here. And you can just see around the outside of my circle, I've got this blue outline. Now I want to change that to a slightly darker brown, so I'm going to click on shape outline, click on the drop down and click on this colour here. Now you'll find that there's lots of different colours here. If you don't find the colour that you want, simply click on more outline colours, and then you've got the whole of the colour wheel here to select from, depending on which colour you want, and then just click OK. What it will do, it will save it in this little dialog boxes at the bottom, so you don't have to keep going back and finding the same colour time and time again. Okay, so now I've got my circle. I'm just going to create an additional circle by going to Insert, Shape, Circle, and I'm going to click and drag again, holding down the Shift key, and then again just move my shape to where I want it to. Bear with me, this is not all about just creating circles and triangles. I will show you how to manipulate these shapes so they do form a slightly different shape, or draw your own shape. So again, I'm on shape format. I'm just going to change the colours again. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw some ears. This is actually going to be a dog. So I'm just going to show you how to draw the ears. And in doing this, I will show you how to draw from freehand. So if you go to the Insert tab here, you click on Shapes, click on the drop down and go to this icon here, which is Freeform. Now this enables you to click and just simply form the outline of the shape that you want. Now don't worry it goes wrong, it doesn't matter. We're going to change this shape using edit shape. So at the moment, this is the shape that we have, but because we have straight lines, it's all looking a little bit clunky. So I'm highlighted my shape and I'm going to go up to edit shape, click on the drop down and click edit points. And here you can see my shape has changed to give me a red outline and some black boxes or points around the outside of my shape. If I right click on one of these black points here, I've got a couple of options here: corner point, straight point and smooth point. If I click smooth point, I've now created a slight curve. In addition, I've also created these two handles, left and right. Now I can move these handles, I can move them out to the side, I can move them in, and I can move them anti-clockwise and clockwise, and as you can see, my curve is changing. In addition, if I hit the Alt key or Option key whilst I'm dragging one of these, then I can just move one handle, giving me the freedom to then just move one half of the curve. If I then want to go back and create a straight curve again, if I right click on the dot, on the black square, and click straight point, it will straighten my handles again. And again, you can pull and push these as much as you need to. So I'm just going to go around ensuring that these are straight. So I get a nice rounded curve. I'm going to get a curve at the top here. So I'm just going to click my Alt or Option button here just to create a nice curve here. A smooth point again, down to smooth point here, and we're just going to create, and what I might do is actually delete this point. So if I right click, click delete point, then you can see that that point has been deleted. And then I'm just going to move this handle around, and again I'm going to click smooth point and smooth point again, and then all I'll do is just go around and just click on the different corners and points to ensure that I've created the shape I want. Now I'm creating an ear of a dog here, so I don't need to be terribly accurate. But I'm just going to click straight point. Now I'm just going to show you why I did that. If I just click off my shape, you can see that there's an area here of the ear that's a little bit sharp. So if I click back on the shape, go back up to edit shape, edit points, if I right click here and go down to straight point, it will straighten out my handles again and it will give me a smoother curve. So once I'm happy with my shape, then I can simply do as I did before and just simply change the colours to the ones I prefer. Now this demonstrates how you can draw any shape you need to, but you can also change the shape of it as you go, which will enable you to pretty much draw anything you need to in Word. Now once I've completed this shape, I want to simply copy and paste it. So I'm just going to make it the size that I want. And of course you can still stretch this shape once you've manipulated the points, and then you can turn it using the circular icon at the top. Just move that around. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Home, I'm going to go to the copy icon here, and then simply click paste. And I'm just simply going to move my ear, and then I'm simply going to drag it out so that it drags out to be the opposite shape that we produced just now. And then I can just play around with it moving it to where I want until I'm happy. Okay. So the next thing we'll do is we'll just quickly go ahead and insert some eyes. And again, to make them pretty identical, I'm going to format one of the eyes and then I'm going to copy and paste it. So I'm going to go to Shape Fill, click on White, click on the outline and go to Black. This outline I think I want to be a little bit thicker. So what I'm going to do is double click on my shape and then I'll get this drop down menu that appears on the right hand side. And then I'm simply going to go down to Line, Solid Line, and then I'm going to go down to Width. Now the width here will allow me to just click on the up arrow to increase the size of my outline. And once I'm happy, I'm going to go to Home, Copy, click, and paste, and then paste the other eye. And then just quickly insert the black pupils to go inside, Shape Fill Black, Shape Outline Black, and again copy and paste. Now the shortcut for copy and paste is Command or Control C followed by Command or Control V. You can also right click on your shape and simply use the copy and paste icons here. Okay, once I'm happy, I'm then going to create a tail. Now again, I can either insert a shape or I can free transform. So let's just show you by inserting a triangle, for example, to create the tail. So I'm just going to use this triangle, I'm going to get my tail to roughly where I want it. In fact, I'll just speed the video up while I just move all of this down a bit. Okay, now when we're moving these shapes around, you can use your left and right up and down arrow keys just to level things out. If things aren't quite central, then you can just select the shape that you want and then just move it with your arrow keys. Now in order to make this tail, we've got our shape here and we'll go to Shape Format, again using Edit Shape to edit the points. So again, we're going to make this a smooth point. And what we can do is we can pull this to have a slight curve on it. If we want more of a curve, we can add a point by right-clicking and click Add Point, or we can simply just click on the red outline and drag, and as you can see, we create some additional points. Now, because we've clicked and dragged like that, it will automatically create a curved or a smooth point. So let's just click off that, and what you can see at the moment is that the tail is actually in front of the head, and what we want to do is move it to the back. So in order to do that, we select the shape again, make sure we're on Shape Format, and then go along to these icons here, bring forwards and send backwards. Now all the shapes that we've created are created in layers, so they're all layered on top of each other. But at the moment you can't tell which ones are on top of which. So in order to get this shape to go behind the head circle, we just click on the Send Backwards, or on the drop down, click Send to Back. And now that shape will go behind the head circle. Once again, we'll just change the colour and we'll go for a darker brown again, and the same for the shape outline. Okay, let's just have a look at that. No, I think we can reduce the size of that a little bit by just using the corner. And I think what we'll also do is just slightly alter the top of it. It's a little bit too pointy. and that handle is moving on its own, as you can see, and I don't want that because it's creating this horrible bump. So if I right click on the point and go to straight point, and then when I turn the handles they will turn together, just to create a little bit more. Let's just have a look at that. Okay, we got there in the end. Okay, so now I'm going to insert a nose, and again we can either use a circle or a triangle here. I'll put one about here, just zoom in a little bit, and again you can adapt this shape to create exactly what you need. So I'm just going to pull and push, and as you pull and push you will find that the shape will move slightly to what you need. So again, if I right click to give me a straight corner, then I can get a nice curve on that. Again, straight corner. Okay, that's about right. So let's just change the colour of that. And then zoom out. And then we can just move the figure or the nose to the left or right, up or down, as we choose. Okay, now we'll just create some feet, because this will use some slightly different tools. Again, just go up to, make sure you're on shape format, down to edit points. And we're just going to shift this one up slightly. Now, the reason that this shape suddenly does this crazy thing each time you move it is because we've currently got a border around our shape. So if I just click off and show you what happens. So let's just delete this. We'll go to Insert Shape and we'll go to the circle again. Now, as you can see at the moment, the oval shape has this border around it. And when we use the edit points, we start to edit the border and the fill at the same time, which slightly confuses the way you edit. So to solve that, if we could just go up to the shape outline and click no outline, what you can do is edit the fill element of it quite easily. And then if you want the outline afterwards, then you can simply add the outline. So now when we go up to edit shape and edit points, you'll find that we just get one point that we can just move up and down, and we don't have to deal with the borders. So now we've got this shape, what we can do is actually pull and push it and make it bigger and smaller. As long as you get the shape right, then you can deal with the size and the width and the depth through just using these editing blocks here, which is really handy because you don't always make the shape the right size. So once you're happy with the shape, I'm going to create two of these and I want them to be identical. So what I really need to do is make sure that this one is exactly the way I want it first, and then I can edit it. So now I want to change its colour. So go to shape format and then fill, and then I would like an outline, and I will do the dark brown outline. And all I'm going to do then is go to home, copy and paste, and then I'm simply going to paste it across. So these two aren't identical, so if I want to, I can just flip that shape. I can just put it over the top to make sure it's roughly the same size, and then pop it next to it there. So you can just move with your arrow keys if you want to. Now the next one we'll be using is the curved line, which is here. And with the curved line, we can just make some pause in here. So we just click and drag, and that would just create a curved line for me. Now, if you wanted to edit this particular shape, it will give you numerous points, including this one here. Now, the reason it's given you that one is because this is actually an entire shape which has got a fill in it. So if I was to fill this shape, if I click off this now, sorry, my page keeps jumping around because I'm zoomed in. If I was to click on this particular shape now, and then I was to fill it, you can see that those points are referring to the internal fill of just this curved line. So we just want to edit this line here. So if we go to edit shape and edit points, the only point that we want to edit is this curve here. And all we need to do is play around with that handle and this end point here to create the curve we want. And once we click off, you can see that you have the curve that you want. Now I want this curve to be dark brown again, so I click on Shape Format, go down to Shape Outline, and click on the colour of your choice. If I want this line to be a bit thicker, then I'll just show you, if I double click on my shape, then again this menu will appear on the right hand side. I make sure that I go to the line menu, go down to solid line. We've got our colour here, and I want to change the width again, so I go to the up arrow, I just click on up until I'm happy. Once again, I go to home, copy and paste. I want to paste another one, so I just click paste again, and I would just get these shapes that are copies of the first shape, the first curve that I did. Now again, you can change them if you just want to reduce the size of them. If you want to reduce them in the same ratio, you just click the shift key and it will reduce it within the same ratio as your first shape. And again, I can go back to home and paste, and then I can just flip this round, and then I can begin to fill the other foot here. Sorry, actually, if I go back, copy that particular one, and paste it twice, and then just move them to where I want them, and again just change their shape, their size in the ratio that I was given initially, or the ratio of the initial shape. And I'm just being very quick here. You can obviously play around with these to suit your needs. If I wanted to create some kind of shadow, now I'm showing you this because you can actually change the transparency of a shape and also the gradient of a shape. So if we wanted to create a shadow under the chin of the dog, if we insert another circle by going to Shapes, we're going to draw another circle. And as you can see, this circle appears on top of all the other layers. And what we want to do is move this circle back, not to the back of the dog, because we won't be able to see it. If I was to send it to the back now, you won't be able to see it. So I can either bring it forwards, which is probably easier because there's more layers. If I bring it to the front, there's more layers behind it than if I take it to the back and bring it forward one or two. So if I click bring forward, just keep clicking and then it will appear. If nothing happens for the first couple of times, it's because it's just working its way through the layers. If I continue to click now, you can see it's just working its way through all the different layers. and then click backwards. It's going backwards through the layers until it gets to where you want it to be. And now I can move this around, and then I can change the colour. So I'm going to go for a dark colour because I'm actually going to change its transparency as well. I don't need the shape outline, so I'm going to click shape outline and click no outline. And then I'm going to go over here again to this menu. If it doesn't appear, double click on your shape, and then I'm going to go to the fill drop down here, which is under the bucket, and then I'm going to go to this slider here that says transparency. I'm going to slide it to the right, and as you can see, my shape transparency changes. And just remember, this is only a shadow, so it just has to be very faint. And once you've done that, you can change the size, or you can change the position. I'm on the wrong shape at the moment. You can change the position of your shadow depending on where you want your light to come from, like that. Okay, I hope this has given you some tools. There's many, many more tools that can be used. Just let me quickly show you the gradient. So if I click on this shape here and I want to go to have a gradient, which gives a slightly more artistic view to your images or your shapes or pictures, if you click on gradient fill over here, then you can use this gradient slider here, which is really, really versatile. So these elements here all refer to this gradient. So you can pick the type of gradient that you want. So there's some presets here that you can click on. This is the direction. So you can have a linear one, a radial one. So let me just show you with these colours, because let's get some more extreme colours up so that you can see what I'm talking about. So this is a linear, this is radial, and then you've got rectangular and a path. So you've got lots of different gradients that can be used. If I stick to linear here, we've also got the angle here, so you can change the angle of your the direction which the gradient will lean to. And then you've also got gradient stops. Now these are gradient stops here, and these are sliders. So as you can see, as I slide that to the left and right, it gives you more yellow or less yellow, or more red or less red. But you can add stops as well. So if I wanted to add a stop in the middle, let's say I wanted to change the colour, if I just click on the particular stop that I want, click on colour, and let's go to green. Now you can see I've introduced green into my gradient, and now I can move left and right to where I want that colour to be in my gradient. And if you want to get rid of it, you simply click on it and click the minus sign here. Again, you can play around with its transparency, so it's really, really flexible. So that just gives you a really quick overview of how you can use gradients with all your colours, because it really does mean you have that extra flexibility to add contrast, texture, and even shadows to your pictures. This is only a really simple drawing, but hopefully it's been able to give you some tools to be able to construct and draw different images. And don't forget, you can also trace images. If you find images online, you can just simply import them into Word as a picture, and then you can simply trace over them or copy them from the picture itself. I really hope that's helped. If there are any questions, please don't hesitate to ask and put them in the comments below. If you've enjoyed it, please subscribe and have a great day.